So I'm all done in Norwalk. I'm headed up Route 8, headed home. It's 9:45, something like that. And what ended up happening with this particular project was it was a loose wire on a motor starter. At the end of the day, I spent, you start at the beginning, always boiler temperatures, pressures, calls for heat, boiler controller working. And you just kind of work your way through the system, and it turned out to be a loose wire on a motor starter. So a huge trip out here for that. But regardless, billable time, whatever. Got them going for heat, and that's kind of the important thing. But one of the things I was just kind of thinking of while I was driving is I'm 47, so I started in the when I was a little kid, I would help out because my dad was a plumber, my grandfather was a plumber. A lot of my family was in the industry, and I professionally started, I think, in 1995 when I was old enough to drive. I got a job at a mechanical company, and then contractor rather. And one of the things about this trade that I loved when I was growing up in the 80s, when I was a little kid, was the camaraderie amongst tradesmen. You would see another contractor at a traffic light, and I remember being a little kid, and everyone said hi to each other, everyone knew each other, everyone joked with each other, everyone passed off work to each other without fear of somebody stealing your client, because it was almost, I don't want to say a brotherhood, but a camaraderie. And when I got into this, the camaraderie was ending. When I really got into this, it was late 90s. So the first wave of consolidation happened in the early 2000s, where companies like the Dwyer Group would come in and buy a bunch of companies, and which owned the Roto-Rooter at the time, and they tried their hand in new construction. Anyways, what ended up happening was all of the smaller companies got swallowed up, and we lost all of that camaraderie. And I came in, I was the youngest since I was a kid, and I knew all these guys. Some of them babysat me. I was the youngest in an older generation, so in my era, I knew all the old timers, the guys that were my dad's age, that were, in their 30s and 40s, probably in their 40s when I was coming up. And we lost it somewhere. And now I think about all of what we actually have now, and we don't have that camaraderie anymore, and it's kind of sad, because it's one of the great things about this industry. When you get a bunch of like-minded people together that aren't focused on brand deals and ads and status and followers and this and that and the other thing, you get something really beautiful. You get opportunities to bounce ideas off of like-minded individuals that may have seen something you haven't seen. I run into people every single day, and I try to learn from everyone. I learned from tapers, I learned from carpenters, I learned how to lay out from a carpenter at a hotel, to do true wall layouts on drawings, to be accurate. Little things like that, but we are missing this camaraderie in the mechanical trades. It's just kind of how it is, which is one of the reasons I kind of came on here, was to just try and find like-minded individuals that weren't trying to be influencers. And now we have this influx of like 18-year-old kids that quote-unquote own businesses, and they're hawking vacuum pumps from like Harbor Freight or something, and we're just losing it, and it's sad. So more or less just a rambling, because I'm exhausted, and I didn't get much sleep last night because I got home late, and I'm probably gonna work tomorrow, and then maybe take Sunday to do paperwork or do something like that. But I don't know, just a random thought. But hopefully everybody's enjoying their Friday, and hopefully in about an hour I'll be home.